The 7.62 millimeter round punched through the insurgent's skull at 847 meters. Rhea Calder kept her eye on the scope, watching the body drop. Clean kill. Textbook. Then the second shot cracked past her face. 6 inches, maybe less. Down! Gravel's hand slammed her helmet. They rolled behind the ridgeline as dust exploded where her head had been. Spotter? Rhea's voice was steady. Training. Gravel's wasn't. No wind deflection, no correction time. He checked his range card, then the radio net. His jaw locked. Calder, there's only one other sniper in this grid square. Rhea's breath stopped. Eli Voss, her old partner, the man who'd requested her removal from the unit 3 years ago. The request that said, "Judgment compromised, cannot trust with team safety." He was here, and he wasn't missing. Rhea Calder had killed 17 men in her career as a designated marksman. She remembered every face. Not because she wanted to, the Army didn't encourage that kind of reflection, but because forgetting them felt like erasing proof that the work mattered. The outpost sat on a wind-scraped ridge in Kunar province, 3 clicks from the Pakistani border. Observation post granite. 12 soldiers, 2 guns, 1 mission. Watch the valley and report movement. For 3 weeks, Rhea had done exactly that. Watched, reported, not fired. Until yesterday. Target confirmed, she'd whispered into her mic, watching a man in a black shawl crouch behind a compound wall. RPG tube across his shoulders. Send it, Lieutenant Marsh had replied. The Barrett M107 kicked against her shoulder. The man dropped. RPG skittered into the dirt. Mission complete. 17. She added him to the list in her head. Age maybe 40. Wedding ring. Beard trimmed shorter than most fighters wore theirs. You okay? Gravel had asked her that night in the operations tent. Always am. That's what worries me. Thomas Gravel Boone was 61 years old and had no business being on a mountaintop in Afghanistan. He'd done his time, 3 tours in Iraq, 2 in Afghanistan, 1 Silver Star he never talked about. He'd retired in 2019, bought a cabin in Montana, and was halfway through building a deck when the Army called him back. Contractor work, spotter duty, 6-month rotation. They're scraping the barrel, he'd told Rhea the day he arrived at OP Granite, looking for gray hairs who remember how to read terrain without a fucking iPad. She'd liked him immediately. Now, 12 hours after that 17th kill, Rhea lay prone in her hide, a shallow depression in the rocks, camouflaged with scraps of burlap and native brush. The Barrett rested on its bipod, barrel angled toward the valley floor. Gravel lay beside her, his spotting scope trained on the same sector. Movement, Gravel said, 270 degrees. Range, 920 meters. Rhea adjusted her scope. 3 men, no weapons visible. Probably shepherds. Not a threat, she said. Copy. The wind shifted. Dust swirled across the ridgeline. Rhea tasted grit between her teeth, felt it in her eyes. The Hindu Kush was beautiful in photographs. In reality, it was a sunburned hell that froze at night and tried to sandblast you during the day. Calder, she glanced at Gravel. His eye was still pressed to the scope, but his jaw had tightened. What? When'd you last work with Voss? Her chest went cold. 3 years ago. Why? Command's rotating in an additional overwatch element. Just got the brief. He lowered the scope, looked at her. Eli Voss, arriving at 1400. Rhea's hands stayed steady on the rifle. Training. He requested transfer out of my unit. I know. You read the file? I read everything. Gravel pulled a water bottle from his pack, took a slow drink. Says here he cited operational incompatibility. That's diplomat speak for, I can't work with this person. It was more than that. How much more? Rhea's finger traced the Barrett's trigger guard. She didn't pull. Didn't need to. Just needed the cool metal under her skin, the reminder that she was in control. Training exercise, she said finally. Fort Benning, 2021. Live fire scenario. I was primary shooter. Eli was spotter. Target was a simulated HVT in a crowd of role players. You took the shot? I took the shot. Hit the target. Center mass. She paused. Also hit a role player. 22 years old. Kid from Georgia playing a civilian for weekend drill pay. Gravel said nothing. Non-lethal, Rhea continued. Ricochet fragment. Caught him in the shoulder. Medics patched him up in 15 minutes. But Eli... She stopped. Eli what? He filed a report, said I'd rushed the shot, that I'd ignored his read on wind conditions, that I was, she quoted from memory, overly confident to the point of recklessness. Were you? Rhea met his eyes. No. Gravel nodded slowly. But Voss thinks you were. Voss thinks I should have waited, should have let the HVT slip away, rather than risk a civilian in a training scenario. He wasn't wrong. It was training. But you're a shooter, and shooters shoot. Yeah. The wind howled across the ridge. Somewhere below, a goat bleated. Rhea checked her watch. 13:20 hours. 40 minutes until Eli Voss arrived. Want me to request a sector change? Gravel asked. Put him on the south side? No. Rhea's voice was flat. If he's here, he's here. We work the mission. Roger that. But as she settled back into her scope, Rhea's heartbeat was louder than it should have been. Eli Voss arrived by Blackhawk at 14:07 hours. Rhea watched from the operations tent as he stepped off the bird, rifle case in one hand, pack in the other. He looked older, thinner. The tan beret sat low over his eyes. Lieutenant Marsh met him at the LZ, shook his hand, gestured toward the tent. Eli nodded but didn't smile. He never smiled. Calder, Marsh waved her over. Voss, this is Sergeant Rhea Calder, your counterpart on Overwatch. Eli's gray eyes met hers. No surprise, no warmth, just recognition. Sergeant, he said. Sergeant, she replied. Marsh looked between them, sensing the chill. You two know each other? We've worked together, Eli said. A while ago. Good, that'll make coordination easier. Marsh pulled a tablet from his cargo pocket, tapped through screens. All right, here's the brief. Intelligence reports increased insurgent activity along Route Silver. That's the goat path running east-west through the valley. We've got 2 OPs watching it now. Granite, that's us, and OP Hammer, 6 clicks south. You two will maintain alternating Overwatch schedules. Calder, you're primary tonight. Voss, you take tomorrow morning. Copy, Rhea said. Eli just nodded. Questions? Comms protocol? Eli asked. Standard. Primary net is Falcon 6. You'll check in every 2 hours. If you see something, you call it. If you need to engage, you get clearance unless it's imminent threat. Rules of engagement? Hostile act, hostile intent. Positive ID required. No cowboy shit. Marsh looked at Rhea when he said that last part. She didn't flinch. Understood, Eli said. Marsh glanced at his watch. All right, Voss, get your gear squared away. Calder, you've got 3 hours until dusk. I want you in position by 1700. Yes, sir. Marsh left. The tent went quiet except for the hum of a generator outside. Eli set his rifle case on a table, popped the latches. Inside was a Remington MSR, modular sniper rifle, .338 Lapua Magnum. Expensive, precise, the kind of weapon you only got if you were very good or very connected. Nice rifle, Rhea said because the silence was worse. Does the job. Eli pulled the rifle free, checked the chamber. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, no wasted motion. How long you been back in country? 2 weeks, spent most of it at Bagram. He didn't look at her. You? 4 months. 17 kills. Rhea's stomach dropped. You read my file. I read every file. Now he looked at her. You're good, Calder. Better than you were at Benning, but good doesn't mean safe. I follow ROE. I'm sure you do. He attached a suppressor to the rifle's barrel, twisted it tight. But you still shoot first and think second. That's not fair. Fair? Eli's laugh was cold. Benning wasn't fair. That kid with the fragment in his shoulder wasn't fair. But you got your target, so I guess it worked out. Rhea's jaw clenched. I was cleared by the investigation board. Cleared doesn't mean right. Then why are you here? If you think I'm so dangerous, why work the same grid square? Eli finally met her eyes fully. For a moment, she saw something behind the coldness. Fatigue, maybe. Or regret. Because command put me here, he said quietly. And because I've got a job to do. Same as you. He slung the rifle over his shoulder and walked out. Rhea stood alone in the tent, fist clenched, pulse hammering in her ears. Gravel appeared in the doorway. That went well. Shut up. Want to talk about it? No. Want to shoot something? Despite herself, Rhea almost smiled. Yeah, that I can do. Dusk in the Hindu Kush came fast. One moment the valley was gold. The next it was bruised purple, then black. Rhea settled into her hide at 16:53 hours, gravel beside her. The Barrett was loaded, safety on, barrel cold. Check comms, Gravel said. Rhea keyed her mic. Falcon 6, this is Overwatch 1. Radio check. Overwatch 1, Falcon 6, read you Lima Charlie. Overwatch 2, radio check. Eli's voice crackled through the net. Falcon 6, Overwatch 2, good copy. Both stations acknowledge you are cleared hot for Overwatch duties. Report any movement en route Silver. Falcon 6 out. Rhea adjusted her scope's focus. The valley below was already deep in shadow, but her night optics cut through the darkness. Green-tinted world, rocks, brush, the thin ribbon of root silver snaking east. Nothing moving, she said. Give it time. Gravel scanned with thermal imaging. Insurgents like to travel after dark. Less chance of drones. An hour passed, then 2. The temperature dropped. Rhea's breath misted inside her scarf. She shifted her weight, careful not to disturb the camouflage. At 20:047 hours, Gravel's voice cut the silence. Got something. 350 degrees. Range 1,100 meters. Rhea swung her scope north. 3 figures, moving fast, no lights. Weapons? Can't tell yet. Gravel adjusted his thermal scanner. Wait, yeah, long rifles. AKS probably. Falcon 6, Overwatch 1. 3 military-age males moving south along Route Silver, armed with rifles. Request clearance to engage if they enter the red zone. Overwatch 1, stand by. Rhea's finger hovered near the trigger guard. Not on it. Never on it until the order came. Overwatch 1, Falcon 6. You are cleared to engage if targets enter red zone or display hostile intent. Confirm. Overwatch 1 confirms. Cleared hot. The 3 men kept walking. 1,000 meters. 950. Rhea's breathing slowed. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Heartbeat steady. Wind's picking up, Gravel said. 2 knots from the west. Rhea adjusted her scope's windage. The lead man was tall, maybe 6 feet. Scarf wrapped around his face. AK-47 slung across his chest. 900 meters. They're stopping, Gravel said. The 3 men crouched behind a boulder. One pulled out a phone, the glow of the screen visible even at this distance. They're calling someone, Rhea said, or checking orders. 850 meters, well within the Barrett's effective range. Then the lead man raised his rifle, aimed it south, directly at OP Hammer. Hostile intent, Rhea said, taking the shot. She didn't wait for confirmation. The Barrett roared. The man dropped, The other two scattered. One sprinted east, the other dove behind cover. Second target moving, Gravel started to say. Then the world exploded. Not an explosion, a sound. The crack of a high-velocity round passing so close to Rhea's head that she felt the air split. She rolled left. Gravel yanked her down. Another crack. The rock where her head had been disintegrated into dust. "Sniper!" Gravel shouted into the radio. "Overwatch 1 taking fire. Unknown position." Rhea's mind raced. The insurgents below didn't have sniper rifles. AKs, yes, but nothing that could reach 900 meters with that precision. "Where?" she gasped. Gravel scanned frantically. There, East Ridge, 1,200 meters. Rhea swung her scope. A rocky outcrop, a shadow, a glint of glass. Another shot. This one hit the Barrett's scope, shattering the lens. "Fuck!" Rhea rolled again, pulling the rifle with her. The scope was destroyed. The rifle was still functional, but she was blind. "Overwatch 2, Gravel barked into the radio. "Do you have eyes on the shooter?" Silence. "Overwatch 2, respond!" Eli's voice came through, calm and cold. "Negative. I'm scanning the East Ridge now." "How do you not see him? He's right fucking there." "I see rocks. No muzzle flash. No heat signature." Rhea's blood turned to ice. No heat signature? That meant the shooter was using a suppressor and cold bore techniques. Professional. Trained. "Overwatch 1, Falcon 6. Can you confirm shooter location?" "East Ridge, approximately 1,200 meters, Gravel said. "But we've lost our scope. Calder's rifle is down. Pull back to secondary position. Overwatch 2 will maintain Overwatch." Rhea didn't move. Her mind was stuck on one detail. The second shot. The one that hit her scope. It hadn't been aimed at her head. It had been aimed at her weapon. Disabling, not killing. "Gravel," she whispered, "check the trajectory." He looked at her. Then understanding dawned. He pulled out his angle finder, measured the impact point on the Barrett's scope. His face went pale. "Calder, that shot came from the northwest, not the east." "What? The shooter you saw on the East Ridge? That's not where the bullet came from." Rhea's heart stopped. "Two shooters? Or—" "Overwatch 2, she said slowly into the radio. "What's your position?" A pause. Too long. "Northwest sector, OP Granite Perimeter." Northwest, the same direction as the shot that destroyed her scope. Gravel grabbed her arm. "We need to move. Now." But Rhea was already calculating. Eli's position, the angle, the precision. He hadn't missed her head by accident. He'd aimed for the scope. And that meant one thing. Eli Voss wasn't here to support her. He was here to stop her. They moved fast and low, scrambling down the ridgeline toward the operations tent. Rhea carried the crippled Barrett. Gravel had the radio. Behind them, the valley had gone silent. No more shots. No more movement. Lieutenant Marsh met them at the tent entrance, weapon drawn. "What the hell happened?" "Sniper," Gravel said, gasping. "Unknown shooter engaged Overwatch 1 during a confirmed kill. Voss reported contact from the East Ridge." "It wasn't from the east." Rhea dropped the Barrett on a table. The shattered scope clinked against the wood. "Check the angle. The shot came from the northwest." Marsh frowned. "That's our perimeter." "I know. You're saying—" "I'm saying check Voss's position, now." Marsh grabbed his radio. "Overwatch 2, report your current location." Eli's voice crackled through. "Northwest observation post. No movement in my sector." "Did you fire your weapon?" A pause. "Negative. I have not fired." Marsh looked at Rhea. "He says—" "I heard him." Rhea pulled her sidearm, checked the mag. "I'm going up there." "The hell you are." Marsh stepped between her and the tent flap. "You're standing down until we figure out what's happening." "What's happening is someone tried to kill me. Someone tried to hit insurgents. You got caught in the crossfire. Sir, Grabel's voice was steady, but his eyes were hard. I've been spotting for 20 years. I know a deliberate shot when I see one. That wasn't crossfire, that was targeted. Marsh's jaw worked. He glanced at the radio, then back at them. All right, I'll send a patrol to Voss's position. You two stay here. Sir, that's an order, Sergeant. Rhea wanted to argue, wanted to grab her rifle and sprint up the ridge. But Marsh was right. She was running hot. Adrenaline and paranoia were a bad mix. Yes, sir, she said. Marsh left. Gravel sat down heavily on a crate, wiping dust from his face. You think it was him? He asked quietly. I don't know. Rhea stared at the ruined scope. But the angle lines up, and he's the only other sniper in this grid square. Maybe he missed. Eli doesn't miss. Gravel nodded slowly. So if he hit your scope instead of your head, then he wanted me disabled, not dead. Rhea's hands shook. She clenched them into fists. Why? Hell if I know, but Calder. Gravel looked at her seriously. If Voss is gunning for you, literally, you need to ask yourself, what did you do 3 years ago that was bad enough to make a man cross that line? Rhea opened her mouth, closed it, because she didn't have an answer. The patrol returned 30 minutes later. 4 soldiers, LED flashlights cutting the darkness. Sergeant First Class Torres led them, his face grim. Well? Marsh asked. Voss is gone. Silence. What do you mean, gone? I mean his position is empty. Rifles there, packs there, but no Voss. Torres pulled off his helmet, ran a hand through his hair. Looks like he set up a dummy, sleeping bag stuffed with gear to look like a body from a distance. Classic E&E tactic. Marsh's face darkened. When? Can't say for sure, but his rifle's cold. Hasn't been fired recently. That doesn't make sense, Rhea said. He was on comms 20 minutes ago. Torres shrugged. Headset was still active. Could have set it on Vox and left it running. We heard breathing on the net, assumed it was him. Son of a bitch. Marsh grabbed his radio. All stations, this is Falcon 6. Be advised, we have a rogue operator on base. Sergeant Eli Voss is considered armed and dangerous. Do not approach. Report sightings immediately. Rhea's mind was spinning. Eli had faked his position, used a decoy. That took planning, preparation. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. He'd come to OP Granite with a plan, and that plan involved her. Calder, Marsh's voice cut through her thoughts. I need you to think. Why would Voss target you? I don't know. Bullshit, you two have history. What happened at Benning? Rhea looked at Gravel. He nodded slightly. Permission. Training accident, she said. I took a shot during a live fire exercise. Hit the target, but also injured a role player. Voss filed a report saying I was reckless. And the investigation board cleared me. Said it was bad luck, not bad judgment. But Voss didn't agree. He requested transfer. Said he couldn't trust me in a combat scenario. Marsh's eyes narrowed. That was 3 years ago. Yes, sir. People don't hold grudges that long, not like this. He stepped closer. What else? Rhea's throat tightened. There was a deployment, 6 months after Benning, Helmand Province. Voss and I were on the same team. Different sectors, but coordinated operations. What happened? She didn't want to say it, didn't want to pull that memory into the light. But Marsh was staring at her. Gravel was staring at her. And somewhere out in the darkness, Eli Voss was hunting her. We had a joint target, she said quietly. Taliban commander. Intel said he was meeting with a weapons dealer in a compound near Lashkar Gah. My team had the northern approach. Voss had the south. Go on. I got there first. Set up Overwatch. Saw the target enter the compound with 4 guards. I called it in. Asked for permission to engage. And? Command said wait for Voss's confirmation. They wanted 2 sets of eyes on the target before the hit. Rhea's hands balled into fists. But the target was moving, getting into a vehicle. If we waited, we'd lose him. So you took the shot. I took the shot. Her voice was flat. Killed the target, killed 2 guards. Third one got away. And Voss? Voss arrived 30 seconds later. He'd been delayed by terrain. When he got to his position, the target was already dead. Rhea met Marsh's eyes. He said I'd violated orders, that I'd compromised the mission by acting alone, that if the third guard had been wearing a suicide vest, I could have blown the whole operation. Was he right? Maybe. I don't know. But the target's dead, and we didn't lose anyone. Marsh was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Voss filed another report, didn't he? Yes, sir. And command sided with me again, said the target was hostile and the shot was justified. But Voss, she paused, he told me I'd gotten lucky, that one day my luck would run out and someone would die because I couldn't wait. Gravel whistled softly. Jesus, Calder. Marsh rubbed his face. All right, so Voss thinks you're a cowboy. That still doesn't explain why he's trying to kill you now. He's not trying to kill me. Rhea pointed at the shattered scope. That shot was deliberate. He could have put a round through my skull. Instead, he took out my weapon. So what's his play? I don't know. But even as she said it, a cold certainty settled in her gut. But I'm going to find out. Marsh shook his head. Negative. You're staying here until we locate Voss and figure out what the hell is going on. Sir, that's final, Sergeant. Rhea wanted to scream, wanted to grab another rifle and charge into the darkness. But Marsh was right. She was running on emotion, not tactics. Yes, sir, she said again. But as Marsh walked away to coordinate the search, Gravel leaned close. You're not really going to stay here, are you? Rhea looked at him. Would you? Hell no, he grinned. So what's the plan? The plan was simple. Wait until the patrols moved east, then slip out the west perimeter and circle back to the high ground. Eli had to be somewhere with line of sight to the valley, somewhere he could watch her without being seen. Rhea knew the terrain. She'd spent 4 months memorizing every ridge, every depression, every rock formation within 3 clicks of OP granite. If Eli was out there, she'd find him, or he'd find her. At 22:30 hours, she and Gravel moved. They left through a gap in the Hesco barriers, low crawling through the scrub until they were 50 meters clear. Then they stood and ran. The night was ink black, no moon, just stars and the faint glow of the outpost behind them. Rhea's NVGs turned the world green. Every rock looked like a crouching man. Every shadow was a threat. They climbed. The ridge was steep, all loose shale and thorn bush. Rhea's boots slipped twice. Gravel caught her the second time, his hand iron strong on her arm. Slow, he whispered. We've got time. But they didn't. Every second Eli was out here, he had the advantage. He knew she'd come looking. He'd be ready. They reached a plateau at 23:10 hours. Rhea dropped to her belly, scanning with her scope. A backup M110 she'd pulled from the armory. Not as powerful as the Barrett, but it would do. Anything? Gravel asked. Negative. She swept the valley, then the ridges. Nothing moved. Maybe he's gone. He's not gone. Rhea's voice was certain. He's watching. From where? Good question. Rhea pulled out a map, clicked on a red lens flashlight. She traced the terrain with her finger. He needs elevation, line of sight to both my position and the valley, somewhere he can move without being seen by our patrols. That's half the mountain. No, Rhea tapped a spot on the map. Here, the western spur. It's outside our patrol routes, but close enough for a long-range shot. And there's a dry wadi running along the base. He could use it to move in and out without being detected. Gravel studied the map. That's 2 clicks from here. Then we'd better start moving. They pushed west. The terrain grew rougher, fields of broken rock that clattered underfoot, no matter how careful they were. Rhea winced at every sound. If Eli was listening, he'd hear them coming from 100 meters away. At 00:15 hours, they reached the wadi. It was deep, maybe 4 meters, and bone dry. Ancient water had carved smooth channels in the stone. Good concealment, Gravel whispered. He could be anywhere in here. Rhea nodded. They descended into the wadi, weapons up. Every bend was a potential ambush. Every shadow could hide a man with a rifle. Then she saw it. A boot print, fresh. Size 11, maybe 12. Deep tread, military issue. Gravel, she pointed. He knelt, examined it. Recent, last few hours. They followed the prints, north, then east, then up a side channel. The walls grew taller, narrower. Rhea's breath came faster. This was a choke point. If Eli was ahead, they were walking into a kill funnel. But they kept going. The channel opened into a small cirque, a natural amphitheater of rock. And there in the center was a fighting position. Sandbags, camouflage netting, a rifle rest, but no Eli. He was here, Gravel said, sweeping the position with his light. Look. Brass casings, 3 of them. 338 Lapua Magnum. Eli's rifle. Rhea picked one up, still warm. He fired from here, she said, recently. At what? She looked at the angle, traced the line of sight. It pointed directly at her old hide, the position where she'd been when her scope was destroyed. At me. Gravel's face was grim. Then where the hell is he now? Behind them, a voice answered. Right here. Rhea spun, rifle coming up. But Eli was faster. His suppressed rifle was already aimed at her chest. Don't, he said quietly. Gravel started to move. Eli shifted his aim. You either, old man. They froze. Eli stepped out of the shadows. He looked tired, older than she remembered, but his hands were steady on the rifle. Lower your weapons, he said, slowly. Rhea didn't move. You going to shoot me, Eli? If I have to. Then do it, because I'm not lowering shit until you tell me what the hell this is about. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then Eli's rifle dipped slightly. You really don't know, he said. Not a question, a realization. Know what? Why I'm here. Why I took that shot. He shook his head. Jesus, Calder, you really are blind. Then enlighten me. Eli's jaw tightened. That target tonight, the one you killed, you ID'd him yourself, right? Yes, military-age male, armed, displaying hostile intent. And you're sure it was hostile? He was aiming at OP Hammer. Was he? Eli pulled something from his pocket. A tablet. He tossed it at her feet. Look at the intel brief, the real one. Rhea picked it up, keeping her rifle trained on Eli. The screen showed a classified file. She scanned it quickly. Her blood went cold. The man she'd killed wasn't an insurgent. He was a CIA asset, an informant working for coalition forces. The rifle he'd been carrying was a radio disguised as an AK. He'd been signaling OP Hammer, not targeting it. No, Rhea whispered. Yes, Eli's voice was hard. You just killed one of our own. Again. I didn't know. You never know. That's the problem. Eli stepped closer. Benning, Helmand, now here. You shoot first, and everyone else cleans up the mess. That intel wasn't in my brief, Rhea said, her voice shaking. Marsh didn't tell me. Because Marsh doesn't know. The asset was compartmented. Only a few people had access to his identity. I'm one of them. And when I saw you lining up that shot, I tried to stop you. By destroying my scope? By disabling you before you could make it worse. Eli's face twisted. But I was too slow. You'd already pulled the trigger. Rhea felt like the ground was collapsing under her. If that's true, if I killed a friendly, then why not just report it? Why this? Because, Eli said quietly, I did report it. 3 years ago, 6 months ago. Every time you screwed up, I wrote it down. I sent it up the chain, and every time, command buried it, said you were an asset, said your kill count was too valuable to sideline you over minor incidents. So you decided to take matters into your own hands? No, I decided to stop you before you got someone else killed. Eli lowered his rifle completely. I'm not here to murder you, Calder. I'm here to make sure you can't pull a trigger until someone finally listens. Rhea's hands were shaking. You could have just talked to me. Would you have listened? She didn't answer. Gravel cleared his throat. Voss, if what you're saying is true, if Calder killed a friendly, then we need to report this, now. Can't, Eli said. The asset's death is already being blamed on insurgent activity. If the truth comes out, it'll compromise the entire network. People will die. So what, we just cover it up? Gravel's voice was incredulous. No, we stop Calder from operating until I can force command to actually review her record. Eli looked at Rhea. You're done, Calder. No more missions, no more kills. Not until someone with stars on their collar figures out that you're a liability. Rhea wanted to argue, wanted to scream that she was following orders, that she was doing her job, that this wasn't her fault. But the man's face was in her mind now, the one she'd killed tonight. She'd added him to her list, number 17. Except he shouldn't have been on the list at all. Eli, she said quietly, if you're going to stop me, do it right. Don't destroy my gear. Don't sabotage my missions. Just turn me in. Submit the report. Let the system handle it. Eli laughed bitterly. The system? The system's broken, Calder. It protected you when it should have grounded you. So yeah, I'm going outside the system. And I'm going to keep you off that rifle until someone finally admits you don't belong behind one. He turned to leave. Eli, Rhea said. Wait. He paused. If I'm wrong, if I've been wrong this whole time, then help me fix it. Don't just take me down. Help me do better. Eli looked back at her. For a moment, something softened in his eyes. Then it hardened again. It's too late for that, he said, and disappeared into the darkness. They didn't return to OP Granite immediately. Rhea sat on a boulder in the wadi, staring at the tablet Eli had left behind. The file was still open. The CIA assets profile stared back at her. Name, Khalid Ahmadi. Age, 34. Status, active informant since 2023. Status, deceased. We need to move, Gravel said. He was scanning the ridgeline, rifle ready. Voss could double back. He won't. Rhea's voice was hollow. He made his point. His point is that you're a killer who doesn't check her targets. Maybe he's right. Gravel grabbed her shoulder, forced her to look at him. Listen to me. You followed your ROE. You had PID, positive identification. Armed male, hostile intent. That's the standard. The standard got a friendly killed. The standard got an asset killed who was operating in a combat zone without proper coordination. That's on command, not you. Gravel's eyes were hard. You think you're the first shooter to drop someone based on incomplete intel? This is war, Calder. People die because information is slow and bullets are fast. Eli doesn't see it that way. Eli sees what he wants to see. A crusade, a vendetta, whatever the hell is eating him inside. Gravel released her. But you can't let his guilt become yours. Rhea looked at the tablet again. Khalid Ahmadi. She'd killed him at 847 meters. Clean shot. Textbook. She'd felt proud. Now she felt sick. What do we do? She asked quietly. We get back to base. We report what happened. We let the system sort it out. Eli said the system's broken. Maybe it is, but it's the only one we've got. Gravel extended a hand. Come on, dawn's in 4 hours. I'd like to be behind walls before then. Rhea took his hand, stood. The tablet felt heavy in her pocket. They climbed out of the wadi and started east. The terrain was treacherous in the dark, loose rock and hidden crevices. Rhea's ankle turned twice. Gravel caught her both times. At 0147 hours, they were halfway back when Gravel stopped. "You hear that?" Rhea froze, listened. At first, nothing. Then, a faint mechanical hum, growing louder. "Drone," Gravel said. They looked up. A shape moved against the stars. Small, fast, not a predator or a reaper, something smaller, commercial grade. "That's not ours," Rhea said. The drone banked, circled back toward them. A red light blinked on its underside. "Move!" Gravel shoved her toward a cluster of rocks. They dove behind cover as the drone swept overhead. It hovered for a moment, then continued east. "What the hell was that?" Rhea gasped. "Surveillance. Could be insurgents. Could be—" "Eli." Gravel nodded grimly. "If he's got a drone, he's been watching us this whole time. Then he knows we're heading back to base. And he knows you still have that tablet." Rhea pulled the device from her pocket. The screen had gone dark, but the data was still there. Evidence. Proof of what she'd done. Proof of what Command had hidden. "He wants this back," she said. "Or he wants to make sure you can't show it to anyone." Gravel checked his rifle. "Either way, we need to move. Fast." They ran. OP Granite came into view at 0223 hours. The perimeter lights glowed like a beacon. Rhea had never been so glad to see HESCO barriers and concertina wire. "Halt!" a voice barked from the entrance. "Identify!" Sergeant Rhea Calder and SFC Thomas Boone, returning from patrol. A flashlight beam hit them. Rhea squinted, raised her hands. "Lower your weapons and approach slowly." They complied. Two guards met them at the gate, Specialists Morrison and Chen, both looking twitchy. "Where the hell have you been?" Morrison demanded. "Lieutenant's been going apeshit looking for you." "Long story," Gravel said. "Where is he?" "Operations tent, and you'd better have a damn good explanation." They were escorted through the perimeter. Soldiers stared as they passed. Word had spread. Rogue sniper. Friendly fire. The rumor mill was already grinding. Lieutenant Marsh was waiting in the ops tent, along with Captain Reyes, the company commander from FOB Joyce, 10 clicks south. Reyes was a hard-faced woman in her 40s, with iron-gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. "Sergeant Calder," Reyes said. Her voice was cold. "You want to tell me why you disobeyed a direct order and left the base?" "Ma'am, because from where I'm standing, it looks like you went hunting for Sergeant Voss, a man who's currently AWOL and suspected of attempted murder." "It wasn't attempted murder, ma'am." Rhea pulled out the tablet. "Voss was trying to stop me from making a mistake. He said I killed a CIA asset tonight, and he has proof." She handed the tablet to Reyes. The captain's face remained impassive as she scanned the file. "Where did you get this?" Reyes asked. "Voss gave it to me. He said the target I engaged was a friendly, an informant, and that Command knew but didn't tell me." Reyes looked at Marsh. "Is this true?" Marsh's face had gone pale. I didn't know. The asset wasn't in my brief. I was told—" "What were you told?" "That the target was enemy combatant, Taliban associate. I gave Calder clearance based on that information." Reyes set the tablet down carefully. "So either someone fed you bad intel, or someone deliberately withheld the truth." She looked at Rhea. "And Voss knew?" "Yes, ma'am. He said he had access to compartmented intelligence. He tried to disable my rifle before I could take the shot, but he was too late." "Why not just tell you?" "He said he tried. 3 years ago. 6 months ago. Every time I made a mistake, he reported it. And every time, Command buried it." Reyes was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "That's a serious accusation, Sergeant." "I know, ma'am. You're saying there's a systemic cover-up to protect your operational record. I'm saying Voss believes that, and after tonight, I'm starting to believe it too." Reyes picked up the tablet again. "This file is classified. TSSCI. Top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. If Voss showed this to you without authorization, he violated about 6 different federal laws. He was trying to save lives, ma'am. Or he was trying to justify going rogue. Reyes tapped the screen. I'm taking this, and I'm launching a full investigation. Until then, Sergeant Calder, you're suspended from sniper duties. You'll remain on base. No patrols, no overwatch. Understood? Rhea's throat tightened. Yes, ma'am. Good. Dismissed. Rhea saluted and left. Gravel followed her out. Outside, the sky was beginning to lighten. Dawn was coming. Another day in the Hindu Kush. You okay? Gravel asked. No. Rhea sat on a crate, head in her hands. I killed a man who was on our side, and I didn't even know. Intel failure. Not your fault. Eli thinks it is. Eli's got his own demons. Gravel sat beside her. But Calder, you need to hear this. Even if the asset's death is on you, and I'm not saying it is, you can't let it paralyze you. We've got a job to do. Not anymore. I'm grounded. For now, but Voss is still out there. And if he's willing to destroy your scope to make a point, what's he going to do next? Rhea looked up. You think he'll come back? I think he's not done. Not by a long shot. Gravel was right. At 0634 hours, the base radio crackled to life. Falcon 6, this is Overwatch 2. I have movement in the valley, multiple hostiles, requesting immediate support. Lieutenant Marsh grabbed the handset. Overwatch 2, confirm your position. West Ridge, approximately 1.5 clicks from your location. I'm observing at least 20 insurgents moving toward your perimeter. They're carrying heavy weapons, RPGs, mortars. Marsh looked at Reyes. She nodded. Sound the alarm. Get everyone to fighting positions. Sirens wailed. Soldiers scrambled. Rhea grabbed her rifle, not the Barrett, just her M4, and ran to the perimeter. Where are they? She shouted to Morrison. West side. Voss called it in. Rhea scanned the valley. At first she saw nothing. Then, movement. Figures in the distance. At least a dozen. Maybe more. Shit, she whispered. Gravel appeared beside her. He's right. That's a real attack. Or it's a setup. What? Rhea pointed at the ridge where Eli had said he was positioned. Look at the angle. If he's up there, he's got a perfect shot at us. We're exposed. So what, he calls in a fake attack to draw us out, then picks us off? I don't know, but something's not right. The insurgents, if that's what they were, kept advancing. 800 meters, 700. Falcon 6, Overwatch 2. Targets entering effective range. Request clearance to engage. Marsh hesitated. Overwatch 2. Confirm positive ID on hostiles. Confirmed. I have armed males with heavy weapons moving in assault formation. Reyes grabbed the handset. Overwatch 2, this is Falcon 1. Hold fire until we verify. An explosion cut her off. Mortar round. It hit 50 meters outside the perimeter, showering the HESCO barriers with dirt and rock. Contact, someone screamed. Return fire, Marsh shouted. The base erupted. Machine guns roared. Soldiers fired into the valley. Rhea raised her M4, sighted on a figure carrying an RPG. Then she saw his face. Young, maybe 20, terrified, not a fighter, a conscript, or worse, a civilian forced into this. Cease fire, Rhea shouted. Cease fire! But no one heard her. The gunfire was deafening. She watched the young man drop, not from her bullet, someone else's. 19, she thought. That's 19. Calder! Gravel grabbed her. What the hell are you doing? Shoot! That's not an assault. Look at them. Gravel looked, and his face went pale. The insurgents were retreating, not falling back tactically, running, scattering, dropping their weapons. Oh God, he whispered. Falcon 6. Rhea grabbed the radio. Cease fire. Those aren't hostiles. "What are you talking about?" Marsh yelled back. "They're running. They're not attacking, they're fleeing. Someone set them up." Reyes grabbed the radio. "All stations cease fire. Cease fire immediately." The guns fell silent. Smoke drifted across the perimeter. In the valley below, bodies lay motionless. "Overwatch 2, Reyes said into the radio. Her voice was ice. "Explain yourself." Silence. "Overwatch 2, respond." Nothing. Rhea looked at Gravel. "He's gone." "Or he never existed." Gravel pointed at the ridge. "That position's been abandoned for hours. I'd bet my pension on it." "Then who called in the attack?" "Voss, using a relay, making us think he was up there when he's actually—" Gravel trailed off. "Oh shit." "What?" "Calder, if Voss wanted to prove you were dangerous, what's the best way to do it?" Rhea's stomach dropped. "Make me kill more innocents." "And if he can trigger an entire base into opening fire on non-hostiles?" Gravel's face was grim. He just made his case for him. The aftermath was brutal. Captain Reyes ordered a patrol into the valley to assess casualties. They found 11 bodies, 8 men, 3 teenagers, all locals from a nearby village. Not insurgents, not Taliban, just civilians who'd been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or the right place if you were Eli Voss. "They were herding goats," Specialist Chen reported, his voice shaking. "The mortars? Those were old Soviet shells, probably left over from the 80s. Someone fired them remotely to make us think we were under attack." Reyes's face was carved from stone. "And the weapons?" "Hunting rifles. AKS, yeah, but old ones. The kind every farmer in Afghanistan owns." Chen looked at Rhea. "Ma'am, we just killed a bunch of shepherds." The words hung in the air like smoke. Rhea couldn't breathe, couldn't think. 11 bodies, 11 people who'd woken up this morning expecting to live. 29 total now, a voice whispered in her head. "You're at 29. "Sergeant Calder," Reyes's voice cut through the haze. "A word, now." Rhea followed her into the ops tent. Gravel tried to come too, but Reyes shut the door in his face. "Sit," Reyes ordered. Rhea sat. "I've been reviewing your file," Reyes said. "Every deployment, every mission, every shot you've taken." She pulled up a document on her laptop, turned it so Rhea could see. "Fort Benning, 2021. Training accident. You injured a role player." "Yes, ma'am." "Helmand Province, 2022. You engaged a target without confirmation from your spotter." "I was cleared." "I know you were cleared. Every time you were cleared." Reyes leaned back. "But Sergeant Voss wasn't wrong, was he? You do shoot first." Rhea's hands clenched. "I follow my ROE. Your ROE got 11 civilians killed today." "That wasn't my fault. Voss set us up." "Did he? Or did he just give you enough rope to hang yourself?" Reyes closed the laptop. "Here's what I think happened. Voss came to this base knowing you'd be here, knowing your reputation. He fed you bad intel, waited for you to take the bait, then stepped back and watched you do what you always do. Pull the trigger. That's not fair. War isn't fair, Sergeant, and neither is accountability." Rhea stood. "Effective immediately, you're relieved of duty. Not suspended, relieved. You'll be transported back to Bagram for a full investigation. If the findings support charges, you'll face a court-martial." The words hit like bullets. Court-martial, dishonorable discharge, prison. "Ma'am, please. There's nothing more to discuss. You're confined to quarters until transport arrives. Dismissed." Rhea stood on shaking legs. She saluted, muscle memory, and walked out. Outside, Gravel was waiting. "What happened?" "I'm done." Rhea's voice was numb. "Relieved. Possible court-martial." Jesus Christ. She's right, though. Voss set the trap, but I walked into it. I always do. Rhea looked at the valley. Smoke still rose from the mortar impacts. I'm the weapon he used, and I was too stupid to see it. Gravel grabbed her arm. Listen to me. Voss is playing a game. He's manipulating the situation to make you look guilty, but that doesn't mean you are. 11 people are dead because of me. 11 people are dead because someone fired mortars and staged an attack. That's on Voss, not you. I still pulled the trigger. So did everyone else on that perimeter. You think you're the only one who fired? You think Morrison and Chen and every other soldier here isn't carrying the same weight? Gravel's grip tightened. You want to fall on your sword? Fine. But don't pretend it's justice. It's just guilt. Rhea pulled away. What do you want me to do, Gravel? Voss is winning. He's proven I'm dangerous. And maybe he's right. Then prove him wrong. How? By finding him. By stopping him before he hurts anyone else. Gravel's eyes were hard. You think this ends with you getting court-martialed? Voss has a vendetta. He's not going to stop until he's destroyed you completely. And if that means more bodies, more incidents, he'll do it. Rhea looked at him. You're saying I should go after him. I'm saying you're the only one who can. You know how he thinks. You've worked with him. You're the best chance we have of ending this before it gets worse. Rhea's ordered me confined to quarters. Then disobey her. Gravel grinned humorlessly. You've already got one court-martial coming. What's another? At 11:43 hours, Rhea Calder left OP Granite without permission. She took an M4, 6 magazines, a sidearm, and the tablet Eli had given her. Gravel came with her. This is insane, he muttered as they climbed over the perimeter wall. We're both going to end up in Leavenworth. Probably. Rhea dropped to the ground, checked her surroundings. No patrols in sight. But I'm not going down without a fight. They moved west. The terrain was seared into Rhea's memory now. Every ridge, every wadi, every possible hide. If Eli was still in the area, he'd be watching the high ground. Where do we even start? Gravel asked. He's got a drone. That means he's got a control station. Somewhere with power. Somewhere secure. Rhea pulled out her map. There's an abandoned patrol base here, 5 clicks west. Taliban used to occupy it, but we cleared it out last year. It's been empty since. Perfect place for a rogue operator to set up shop. That's what I'm thinking. They walked in silence for an hour. The sun beat down mercilessly. Sweat soaked through Rhea's uniform. Her ankle throbbed from the earlier climb, but she pushed on. At 13:02 hours, they crested a ridge and saw it. The abandoned patrol base. Just a few stone buildings, half collapsed. Probably a Soviet outpost once. Now it was just rubble and ghosts. Movement, Gravel whispered. He pointed to one of the buildings. A shadow shifted inside. Rhea raised her rifle. Cover me. She descended the ridge slowly, using rocks for cover. Her heart hammered. This could be Eli, or it could be insurgents, or it could be nothing. 50 meters from the building, she stopped. Listened. A faint mechanical whir. The drone. Eli, she called out. I know you're in there. Silence. I'm not here to fight. I just want to talk. More silence. Then Eli stepped out of the building, rifle in hand but not raised. You should have stayed on base, Calder. You should have stayed in Montana, but here we are. Rhea lowered her M4 slightly. What's the end game, Eli? You've made your point. I'm dangerous, I get it. So what now? Now you face consequences. Eli's voice was cold. You've dodged accountability for 3 years. That ends today. By framing me? By staging attacks? Rhea stepped closer. Those civilians today, that's on you, not me. Those civilians died because you trained an entire base to shoot first and ask questions later. I just exposed the problem. You use people as props in your vendetta, and you've used your rifle as judge, jury, and executioner. Eli's composure cracked. Do you know how many reports I've filed? How many times I've tried to stop you? No one listens because you're the golden girl, the sharpshooter, the one with the perfect record. My record isn't perfect. I know that now. Do you? Or are you just saying that to make me lower my guard? Eli raised his rifle. I don't trust you, Calder. I can't. Because every time I have, someone died. Then kill me. Rhea spread her arms. If that's what it takes to end this, do it. Put a round through my chest. Claim self-defense. Problem solved. Eli's finger moved toward the trigger. Rhea didn't flinch. Do it, Eli. He didn't. Why? Rhea asked quietly. If I'm so dangerous, why not just eliminate the threat? Eli lowered the rifle. Because I'm not a murderer. I'm a soldier, and soldiers follow rules. Even when the rules are broken? Especially then. Eli's face was exhausted. I don't want you dead, Calder. I want you stopped. There's a difference. Then help me stop myself. Rhea stepped closer. You say I shoot first. Teach me to wait. You say I don't check intel. Show me how. I'm asking you, Eli. Help me be better. For a moment, something shifted in Eli's expression. Uncertainty, maybe even hope. Then the drone's camera rotated, locked onto something behind Rhea. Eli's face went pale. Get down! Rhea dove as a shot cracked through the air. Not from Eli, from somewhere else. A third sniper. The bullet hit the wall behind where Rhea had been standing, spraying stone fragments. She rolled behind cover, rifle up. Where? She shouted. Eli was already scanning. East Ridge, 900 meters. Gravel opened fire, suppressing the sniper's position. That's not ours. Taliban? Rhea asked. No, Eli's voice was grim. That's professional, military grade. Another shot. This one hit Gravel's cover, forcing him to duck. They're trying to pin us, Rhea said. Classic two-man ambush. One suppresses, the other flanks. Then we need to move. Eli grabbed his pack. Follow me. They ran into the patrol base, taking cover inside the largest building. The walls were thick, Soviet construction, built to withstand mortar fire. It would hold for now. Who the hell is shooting at us? Gravel demanded. I don't know. Eli pulled out his tablet, checked the drone feed. But they're not alone. I'm seeing 4, heat signatures converging on our position. Rhea looked at the tablet. 4 figures, moving tactically, coordinated. That's a kill team, she said. American? Gravel asked. Has to be. Rhea's mind raced. Reyes said this tablet was classified. If Voss took it without authorization, then someone wants it back. Eli's face was hard. And they're willing to kill for it. Who? Someone with enough pull to send a hit squad into Afghanistan without telling command. Eli checked his rifle. Someone who doesn't want the truth about compartmented assets getting out. Rhea felt cold. The CIA? Or someone acting on their behalf? Eli looked at her. You understand what this means, right? We're not just fighting each other anymore. We're fighting the people who sent us here. Another shot. This one punched through the window, missing Rhea by inches. We need to get out of here, Gravel said. Now. Can't. Eli pointed at the drone feed. They've got us surrounded, 3 sides covered. Only exit is north, and that's straight into a kill zone. So we're trapped. For now, Eli turned to Rhea. But if we coordinate, if we work together, we can break out. Rhea stared at him. 30 minutes ago, this man had wanted her disgraced. Now he was asking for her help. Why should I trust you? She asked. Because if you don't, we're all dead. Eli extended a hand. Truce? Rhea looked at the hand, then at Gravel, who nodded. She took it. Truce. The plan was desperate. Eli would use his drone to scout enemy positions. Rhea would provide covering fire from the north window. Gravel would flank east and try to disable the primary sniper. Then they'd all break for the ridge and pray they made it. On my mark, Eli said, watching the tablet. 3, 2, 1, mark! Rhea leaned out the window and fired. 3-round bursts. Controlled. Precise. She didn't aim to kill, just to suppress. Gravel sprinted from cover, moving low and fast. He made it 20 meters before bullets chewed up the ground around him. He dove behind a boulder. "Sniper's got him pinned," Rhea shouted. "I see him." Eli adjusted the drone. 12 o'clock, 850 meters. He's behind that rock formation. Rhea swung her rifle, sighted on the formation. Exhaled. Fired. The shot sparked off stone. Close, but not close enough. "Winds from the west," Eli said. "Adjust 2 MOA right." Rhea adjusted. Fired again. This time she saw movement. The sniper flinched, pulled back. "Hit?" Eli asked. "Don't know, but he's not shooting." Rhea checked her magazine. 4 rounds left. "Gravel, move!" Gravel ran, made it another 30 meters, dropped behind a wall. "Second shooter's repositioning," Eli said, watching the drone feed. "He's trying to get an angle on Gravel." "Where?" "Southeast, 600 meters. Rhea didn't have a shot. The angle was wrong. "Eli, you take him." "I can't. My position's exposed." "Then move." Eli hesitated. Then he grabbed his rifle and sprinted to the south window. A bullet smashed through the window frame, missing his head by inches. "Shit!" He dropped, rolled. "They've got thermal. They can see us through the walls." "Then we're out of time." Rhea pulled a smoke grenade from her belt. "Cover on 3. 1, 2, 3. She threw the grenade. It popped, spewing gray smoke across the courtyard. Visibility dropped to 0. "Move!" Rhea shouted. They ran. Eli led, Rhea in the middle, Gravel bringing up the rear. Bullets cracked through the smoke. One hit Gravel's pack, spinning him around. "I'm good," he shouted. "Keep going." They reached the north wall, scrambled over, landed hard on the other side. The kill team was still shooting, but now they were blind. The smoke had bought them 30 seconds, maybe less. "Go!" Eli pointed at the ridge. "Don't stop!" They climbed. Fast. Too fast. Rhea's lungs burned. Her legs screamed. But she didn't stop. At the ridge crest, she risked a look back. The kill team was emerging from the smoke, regrouping. 4 figures. Professional. Relentless. "They're coming," she said. "Then we keep running." Eli checked his tablet. "I've got a vehicle stashed 2 clicks east. Civilian truck. If we can reach it..." "We'll reach it." Rhea's voice was hard. "Because I'm not dying today." They ran for 43 minutes. The longest 43 minutes of Rhea's life. Every shadow was a threat. Every sound was a bullet. At 14:58 hours, they reached the truck. A battered Toyota Hilux hidden under camouflage netting. Eli tore off the netting, jumped in the driver's seat. "Get in!" Rhea and Gravel piled into the back. Eli started the engine. It coughed, then roared to life. "Where are we going?" Rhea shouted over the noise. "Anywhere but here." Eli threw the truck into gear and floored it. They bounced over rough terrain, the suspension screaming. Rhea held on, scanning behind them. No pursuit. Not yet. "They'll track us," Gravel said. "Satellite, drone, they've got resources." "Then we ditch the truck." Eli pulled out the tablet. "But first, we need to get this to someone who can use it. Someone outside the system." "Like who?" Rhea asked. "I know a reporter, Kabul-based. He's done stories on black ops and intel failures. If we can get this file to him..." "They'll kill him," Rhea shook her head. "And then they'll kill us." "So what's your plan? Run forever?" "No." Rhea looked at the tablet. "We go public. Not through a reporter, through command. The real command. Not the people running this operation. The generals, the oversight committees. That'll take time. Then we buy time." Rhea met Eli's eyes in the rearview mirror. "You've got a drone. I've got a rifle. Gravel's got experience. Between the 3 of us, we can hold out until help arrives." Hold out where? Rhea pointed at the map. There, FOB Joyce. Captain Reyes is there. She's straight. If we can reach her, tell her what's happening. She'll arrest us on sight, Gravel said. Maybe, but she'll also listen. And if she sees this file, sees what's really going on, Rhea's jaw set. She'll do the right thing. Eli was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, It's 60 clicks to Joyce. The kill team will be on us before we're halfway there. Then we make a stand. Rhea loaded a fresh magazine into her rifle. Right here, right now, we stop running and start fighting. Eli looked at Gravel. Old man, you in? Gravel grinned. Shit, I've got nothing better to do. Then let's give them hell. Eli turned the truck north, toward FOB Joyce, toward the fight, toward whatever came next. They made it 17 clicks before the kill team caught up. Eli saw them first on the drone feed. 2 vehicles, fast-moving, cutting across the valley to intercept. Contact rear, he shouted. 2 trucks closing fast. Rhea spun around. The trucks were maybe 800 meters back, gaining. Can we outrun them? Gravel asked. No. Eli's hands were white on the steering wheel. This truck's 30 years old. Theirs are probably turbocharged. Then we fight. Rhea braced her rifle against the tailgate. Gravel, get ready to engage. The kill team opened fire first. Bullets spanged off the Hilux's frame. One shattered the rear window. Rhea returned fire. 3-round bursts, controlled. She aimed for the lead truck's tires. Harder to hit, but if she could disable the vehicle. Her shot hit the windshield instead. The truck swerved, but kept coming. Shit! She fired again. This time the tire exploded. The truck veered off the road, rolling twice before coming to a stop. One down, Gravel shouted. The second truck accelerated. The driver was good, weaving, making himself a difficult target. Rhea aimed for the engine block. Fired. The hood smoked, but the truck kept coming. He's not stopping, she yelled. Then neither are we. Eli floored the gas. The Hilux shuddered, maxed out at 90 kilometers per hour. The kill team truck pulled alongside them. Rhea saw the shooter in the passenger seat, masked, black tactical gear, rifle raised. She fired first. The shooter ducked. Her bullet hit the doorframe. The shooter returned fire. Rhea felt the wind from the bullet passing her face. Gravel, she shouted. Gravel leaned out, fired his M4 on full auto. The burst stitched across the truck's side. The driver jerked, lost control. The kill team truck careened off the road, flipped, and exploded. Got him! Gravel pumped his fist. But Rhea was staring at the drone feed on Eli's tablet. More heat signatures. Ahead of them. Eli, her voice was tight. We've got more contacts, north, blocking the road. How many? 4, maybe 5. She looked at him. It's an ambush. Eli's jaw clenched. Then we go through it. We'll get torn apart. You have a better idea? Rhea looked at the map, at the terrain, at the dwindling options. Then she saw it. A wadi, deep, twisting, running parallel to the road. There, she pointed. We go off-road, use the wadi for cover. They won't be able to follow in vehicles. And on foot? We'll have the advantage. Close quarters, no long sight lines. Rhea met his eyes. Trust me. Eli stared at her. Then he yanked the wheel. The Hilux left the road, bouncing over rocks and scrub. They hit the wadi at speed, the truck tilting dangerously before righting itself. Behind them, the ambush team opened fire. But they were too late. Rhea and the others were already gone, swallowed by the wadi's shadows. We bought some time, Eli said, but they'll come on foot. Let them. Rhea chambered around. We'll be waiting. The wadi was a maze of stone and shadow. Ancient water had carved channels through the rock, creating a natural labyrinth. Perfect for defense. Perfect for ambush. Eli ditched the Hilux at 15:47 hours, stripping it of anything useful. Ammunition, water, the tablet. They left the truck wedged between two boulders and moved deeper into the wadi on foot. "How many do you think are coming?" Gravel asked, his voice low. Eli checked the drone feed one last time before the battery died. "At least 6, maybe 8. All armed, all trained. And we've got what, 2 rifles and a sidearm? And the high ground," Rhea pointed up at the wadi's rim. "They'll have to funnel through the channels to reach us. We pick them off one by one." "Classic Thermopylae," Gravel muttered. 300 Spartans holding the pass. "Except we're 3 people," Eli said. "And this isn't a movie." "Then let's make sure it doesn't end like one." Rhea found a position, a ledge overlooking a narrow choke point. She set up her rifle, checked her sight picture. "Gravel, you take the south approach. Eli, north. I'll cover center." They moved into position. The wadi went quiet except for the wind whistling through the rocks. Rhea's hands were steady on the rifle. Her breathing was controlled, but her mind was racing. 29 kills. That's what her tally was now. 29 people dead because she'd pulled a trigger. Some had been enemies, some hadn't. She'd stopped being sure of the difference. "Calder," Eli's voice crackled through the radio they'd salvaged from the Hilux. "You good?" "Yeah," her voice was flat. "I'm good." "You don't sound good." "Does it matter?" Silence. Then Eli said quietly, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry." Rhea blinked. "What?" "I came here to stop you, to prove you were dangerous, but I didn't expect—" He paused. "I didn't expect them. The kill team, the cover-up. If I'd known how deep this went—" "You would have done what? Warned me?" Rhea's laugh was bitter. "We've spent 3 years hating each other, Eli. Don't pretend we're friends now." "We're not friends, but we're not enemies either." "Not anymore." Eli's voice was heavy. "I was wrong about you, Calder. You're not reckless. You're just caught in a system that uses people up and throws them away. Same as me." Rhea didn't respond. Couldn't, because he was right. "Movement," Gravel interrupted. "South Channel, 2 contacts." Rhea shifted her aim. Saw them, 2 figures in black, moving tactically. Rifles up, NVGs on their helmets. "Hold fire," she whispered. "Let them get closer." The kill team advanced. 50 meters, 40. They were good, checking corners, covering each other. Professional. But they didn't know the terrain like Rhea did. At 30 meters, she fired. The first man dropped. The second dove for cover, returning fire blindly. Gravel engaged from the south. His shots echoed through the wadi. The second man went down. 2 down, Gravel reported. 4 to go, Eli said. "At least." Rhea reloaded. Her magazine was half empty. She had 2 spares left. 45 rounds total. Not enough. Not nearly enough. The kill team regrouped, smarter now. Cautious. They didn't charge through the channels. Instead, they spread out, using the wadi's multiple paths to surround Rhea's position. "They're flanking," Eli said. "North side, I see 3. Can you engage?" "Negative, they're using smoke. I can't get a clear shot." Rhea cursed. Smoke meant they had resources, equipment. This wasn't just a hit squad. This was a professional operation. "Gravel, status. I've got one in my sights, south approach. But if I take him, I'll expose my position." "Take him." Gravel's rifle cracked. A scream echoed through the wadi. "Hit," Gravel confirmed. "But now they know where I am." Bullets raked Gravel's position. He scrambled backward, rolling behind a boulder as stone chips exploded around him. "Gravel," Rhea shouted. "I'm good. Just pinned." Rhea fired at the shooter, suppressing Gravel. Her bullet hit center mass. The man dropped. 3 down. How many left? The answer came in the form of a grenade. It arced through the air, landed near Eli's position. "Frag out!" Eli dove as the grenade detonated. The blast was deafening. Shrapnel screamed through the wadi. "Eli!" Rhea's heart stopped. "Eli, respond!" Static, then a cough. I'm here. Took some shrapnel, leg and shoulder, but I'm still in the fight. How bad? Bad enough. Eli's breathing was labored. I can't move fast. If they push, they won't push. Rhea's voice was hard. I won't let them. She stood, exposed herself deliberately, drew fire. Bullets cracked past her head. She ignored them, aimed, fired. A figure fell from the wadi's rim, 4 down. Calder, get down, Gravel screamed. She dropped as another shooter opened up from the west. Bullets chewed through the rock where her head had been. West side, she shouted. I can't see him. I've got him. Gravel shifted position, fired. Once, twice, splash, 5 down. The wadi went quiet. No movement, no sound except the wind and Eli's labored breathing. How many left? Gravel asked. Don't know. Rhea scanned through her scope. At least 1, maybe 2. And we're almost out of ammo. Gravel checked his magazine. I've got half a mag left, you? Same. Rhea looked at Eli's position. He was slumped against a rock, rifle across his lap. Blood soaked his pant leg. Eli needs a medic, she said quietly. He needs a hospital, Gravel corrected, which is 40 clicks away, and we're surrounded. Rhea clenched her jaw. They were out of time, out of options. Then we break out, she said. On my signal, we move together, straight north, fast and hard. We don't stop until we reach FOB Joyce, or we're dead. That's suicide. You got a better plan? Gravel was quiet. Then he said, no. Good. On 3. A voice echoed through the wadi, amplified, coming from a speaker. Sergeant Calder. Sergeant Voss. This is Colonel Marcus Hale, Special Activities Division. You're surrounded. You have no ammunition, no support, no way out. Rhea's blood went cold. Special Activities Division, the CIA's paramilitary arm. We know what you've taken, Hale continued. The tablet, the classified files. You've committed multiple federal crimes. But if you surrender now, I can guarantee you'll face a fair trial. Bullshit, Eli muttered into the radio. They'll disappear us the moment we're in custody. I know, Rhea said, but what choice do we have? We fight. We'll die. Then we die clean. Eli's voice was steady despite the pain. Better than living as a loose end. Rhea looked at Gravel. He nodded slowly. All right, she said. We fight. Sergeant Calder? Hale's voice again. I need an answer. Rhea keyed her radio. Colonel Hale, this is Sergeant Rhea Calder. I've got an answer for you. I'm listening. Go to hell. She fired. The speaker exploded in sparks. All hell broke loose. The kill team came from all sides. Coordinated. Relentless. Rhea fired until her magazine ran dry, then switched to her sidearm. 9mm, 17 rounds. She made every shot count. Gravel fought from the south, his M4 on full auto. He dropped 2 more before his rifle clicked empty. Then he drew his knife and charged. Gravel, no! Rhea screamed, but he was already gone, disappearing into the smoke and chaos. Rhea heard shouting, a scream, then silence. Gravel! She ran toward his position, firing as she went. A figure lunged from the shadows. She put 2 rounds in his chest. 6 down? 7? She'd lost count. She found Gravel on the ground, knife buried in a dead man's throat. But Gravel wasn't moving. No, 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 no! Rhea dropped beside him. His vest was torn, blood everywhere. His eyes opened. Barely. Calder. Don't talk. I'll get you out of here. No, you won't. He coughed, blood on his lips. But you'll finish this. Gravel, promise me. His hand found hers. Weak, cold. Promise you'll stop them. I promise, he smiled. Then his eyes closed. Rhea knelt there, holding his hand until the shooting started again. She stood, turned, saw three figures advancing through the smoke. Her sidearm was empty. Her rifle was gone. She had nothing, except the knife in Gravel's hand. She pulled it free, blood still wet on the blade. "Come on," she whispered. "Come on." The first shooter rounded the corner. Rhea lunged. The knife went into his throat. He dropped, gurgling. The second shooter fired, missed. Rhea rolled, came up inside his guard. The knife found his kidney. He screamed. The third shooter was smarter, kept his distance, raised his rifle. Then his head snapped back, a spray of red. Rhea looked up, saw Eli on the ridge, rifle smoking. He'd made the shot despite his wounds. "Go," he shouted. "I'll cover you." Rhea ran, north, toward FOB Joyce, toward whatever came next. Behind her, Eli's rifle cracked again, and again. Then silence. She didn't look back. Rhea ran for 30 minutes, maybe longer. Time had no meaning, just the pounding of her boots, the rasp of her breath, the weight of the tablet in her pocket. She emerged from the wadi at 17:23 hours. The valley spread before her, golden in the late afternoon sun. In the distance, she could see FOB Joyce, HESCO barriers, guard towers, safety, 6 clicks. She could make it. She started running again. At the 2-click mark, she heard the helicopter, a Black Hawk, coming fast from the south. For a moment, hope flared. Rescue, extraction. Then she saw the door gunner, M240 machine gun, aimed at her. Not rescue, the kill team's backup. Rhea dove behind a boulder as the gunner opened fire. Bullets chewed through the ground. Dust and stone exploded around her. She was pinned. No way forward, no way back. The helicopter circled, setting up for another pass. Rhea pulled the tablet from her pocket. Checked the battery. 5%. Enough. She opened the classified file, the one that had started all of this. Khalid Ahmadi, the CIA asset she'd killed. But there was more. Other files, other names. A whole network of assets, compromised and killed. Not by insurgents, by friendly fire. By soldiers who'd been fed bad intel. Deliberately. Someone had been cleaning house, eliminating witnesses, and they'd been using snipers like Rhea to do it. Her hands shook. This wasn't about her mistakes. It was about someone using her as a weapon, using all of them. The helicopter came around for another pass. Rhea looked at FOB Joyce, so close, but she'd never make it. Unless. She opened the tablet's network settings, found the emergency broadcast channel. Every military base in Afghanistan monitored it. She typed fast, uploaded the files, all of them. Then she hit send. The helicopter's gunner opened fire. Rhea felt the impact, once, twice. Her body jerked. She fell. The tablet slipped from her hands. The screen went dark. But the files were already transmitting, racing through the network, to FOB Joyce, to Bagram, to every base in theater. The truth was out. Rhea lay on her back, staring at the sky. Blood soaked through her uniform. She couldn't feel her legs. The helicopter landed. Boots approached. "Target down," a voice said. "Secure the tablet." Too late. Rhea's voice was weak, but she smiled. "It's already gone." Colonel Hale knelt beside her. His face was hard. "What did you do?" "I finished it." Rhea coughed, tasted copper. "Everyone knows. Now." Hale's expression didn't change, but she saw the fear in his eyes, the realization. "Medic!" someone shouted. "We need a medic!" But Rhea was already fading. The sky above her was so blue, so clear. She thought of Gravel, of Eli, of all the people she'd killed, all the mistakes she'd made, and she hoped, prayed, that what she'd done today would balance the scales. Just a little. Rhea Calder woke up in a hospital bed at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, Germany. She'd been unconscious for 4 days. Captain Reyes was waiting when she opened her eyes. "Sergeant," Reyes said. Her voice was neutral, professional. "Ma'am," Rhea's throat was dry, raw. "What happened? You transmitted classified files over an unsecured network, exposed a CIA black operation, and got yourself shot in the process." Reyes paused. "You also saved approximately 30 soldiers from being used as expendable assets in illegal kills." Rhea blinked. "The files went viral. Every news outlet from the Times to CNN picked them up. The Senate Intelligence Committee is holding hearings. The CIA's Special Activities Division is under investigation, and Colonel Marcus Hale is in custody, awaiting trial." "And me?" Reyes's expression softened slightly. "You're also under investigation. What you did was technically illegal. Unauthorized release of classified material, violation of operational security, disobeying direct orders. So, court-martial." "Probably," Reyes sat down. "But there's another side to this. You exposed corruption, saved lives. The Army doesn't know what to do with you yet. Hero or criminal, maybe both." Rhea closed her eyes. "Gravel? Didn't make it. I'm sorry. And Eli?" Reyes was quiet for a moment. "Voss died covering your extraction. He held off the kill team long enough for you to reach transmission range. By the time our QRF arrived, he was gone." Rhea felt something break inside her. Eli, the man who'd hated her, who'd tried to stop her, who'd saved her in the end. "He was right about me," she whispered. "I was dangerous." "You were used," Reyes corrected. "There's a difference. The people who gave you bad intel, who manipulated you into taking those shots, they're the ones responsible." "But I still pulled the trigger." "Yes, you did." Reyes leaned forward. "And you'll have to live with that. All of it. The good kills and the bad ones. The people you saved and the people you didn't. That's the weight every soldier carries, and it never gets lighter." Rhea looked at her. "What happens now?" "Now you recover. Then you face the investigation. After that," Reyes shrugged, "we'll see. But Calder, for what it's worth, what you did, transmitting those files, took guts. Not many people would have made that choice." "Eli would have." "Yeah, he would have." Reyes stood. "Get some rest, Sergeant. You've got a long road ahead." She left. Rhea lay alone in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling. She'd killed 30 people, saved 30 more. In the end, did it balance? She didn't know, might never know, but she was alive, and the truth was out. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. 6 months later, the investigation concluded. Rhea Calder was honorably discharged from the United States Army. No court-martial, no criminal charges. Just a quiet exit and a recommendation that she never work in intelligence or special operations again. She moved to Montana, bought a small cabin in the mountains, the same area where Gravel had lived. It seemed fitting. She didn't keep a rifle, didn't touch one. The thought of looking through a scope made her sick. Instead, she worked odd jobs, built furniture, hiked, tried to remember what it felt like to be a person instead of a weapon. One afternoon, a package arrived. No return address, just her name on the label. Inside was a tablet, not the one she'd used in Afghanistan, a new one, with a single file on it. She opened it. A video. Eli Voss recording himself in what looked like the abandoned patrol base, before the final fight. "Calder," his voice said, "if you're watching this, then I'm probably dead, and you're probably wondering if any of this was worth it." He paused, looked off camera. "I spent 3 years hating you, blaming you for every mistake, every failure. But the truth is, I wasn't angry at you. I was angry at myself. For not speaking up sooner, for not fighting harder to change a system that was broken." Eli's face was tired, sad. "You were right, back in the Wadi. We're not enemies. We're just two people who got caught in a machine that uses us up and spits us out. And if I could go back, I'd do it differently. I'd help you instead of hunting you." He leaned closer to the camera. "But since I can't go back, I'm leaving you this. Proof that what happened in Afghanistan wasn't your fault. Proof that the system failed both of us. Use it however you want. Or don't. Just don't let them make you believe you're a monster. You're not. You're a soldier who tried to do the right thing in an impossible situation." The video ended. Rhea sat there for a long time. Then she opened her laptop, started typing. An email to the Senate Intelligence Committee, a request to testify about what she'd learned, about how the system could be fixed. She didn't know if it would help, didn't know if anyone would listen, but she had to try, because Eli had tried, and Gravel had tried, and 30 soldiers were alive because of it. The least she could do was finish what they'd started. The hearing took place in a closed session. No cameras, no press, just senators, military brass, and Rhea. She told them everything: the compartmented assets, the bad intel, the way soldiers had been manipulated into killing friendlies, the cover-up that went all the way to the top. Some of them listened, some didn't. But when she finished, Senator Patricia Kellerman, head of the Intelligence Committee, asked one question. "Sergeant Calder, if you could change one thing about how the military operates, what would it be?" Rhea thought about Eli, about Gravel, about Khalid Ahmadi, and all the others who died because the system had failed them. "Accountability," she said finally. "Real accountability, not investigations that get buried, not reports that disappear. If a soldier makes a mistake, they should face consequences. But if command makes a mistake, if they feed us bad intel, if they cover up failures, they should face consequences too. Equal justice. That's all I'm asking for." Kellerman nodded slowly. "That's a big ask, Sergeant." "I know," Rhea met her eyes. "But if we don't start somewhere, more people will die. More soldiers will be used as weapons instead of warriors, and we'll keep pretending it's normal." The room was silent. Then Kellerman said, "Thank you, Sergeant. Your testimony has been noted." Rhea stood, saluted, left. She didn't know if it would make a difference, didn't know if the military would change, but she tried, and sometimes trying was all you could do. 3 years after the hearing, the Military Accountability and Transparency Act passed Congress. It required independent oversight of intelligence operations, mandated reviews of friendly fire incidents, created protections for whistleblowers. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Rhea read about it in the newspaper, sitting on her porch in Montana, coffee in hand, mountains in the distance. She thought about calling someone, celebrating, but there was no one to call. Gravel was dead. Eli was dead. Everyone who'd fought beside her was gone. So she just sat there, watching the sun rise over the peaks. And for the first time in years, she felt something close to peace. On the anniversary of the Wadi fight, Rhea hiked to a remote ridge, brought 2 stones, placed them on the ground, one for Gravel, one for Eli. She didn't pray, didn't say anything profound, just stood there, letting the wind carry her thoughts. "You were right," she said finally. "Both of you. The system was broken, and I was part of it. But we changed it. Not completely, not perfectly, but enough." She touched each stone. "So, thank you. For seeing what I couldn't. For fighting when I wanted to quit. For dying so others could live." The wind howled. Somewhere in the valley, an eagle cried. Rhea turned and walked back down the mountain, back to her cabin, back to her life. She still had nightmares, still saw the faces of the people she'd killed, probably always would. But she also saw the faces of the people she'd saved. The 30 soldiers who were alive because of what she'd done. The system that was, slowly, imperfectly, getting better. And that was enough. It had to be. From the desk of Captain Sarah Reyes, retired. In 2026, Sergeant Rhea Calder did something few soldiers have the courage to do. She admitted she was wrong. She fought to change a system that had failed her, and she paid the price for it. Today, military snipers operate under new protocols. Every kill is reviewed. Every intel source is verified. The days of using soldiers as disposable assets are over, or at least they're supposed to be. Is the military perfect now? No. Do we still make mistakes? Yes. But because of people like Calder, Voss, and Boone, we're trying to do better. And in the end, isn't that all any of us can do? Try, fight, change what we can, and hope it's enough. Excerpt from The Second Sniper, a study in military ethics and accountability, published by the Army War College, 2029.